When I first became electrically sensitive, if I'm honest, digging down and finding what the true causes of my condition were, it wasn't really at the top of my list of priorities. It was more about finding some quick fix, some pill, some gadget that would make it all go away and make me feel well again. But then this was understandable because I'd never had anything like this before. In fact, I'd never really been sick for anything of any consequence. When I was a child, I remember having measles and taking a week off school. When I was working in London, I might have had an odd day or two in all the years I worked there off work. And here I was with clearly something pretty fundamentally wrong with me. And not only that, I was on my own, because the medical establishment, not only did they not offer a solution, they didn't even recognise that my condition existed. So when I did my first cleanse, my first detox, and I felt this immediate but short-lived improvement in my condition, I knew I was onto something. I knew that toxins had a role to play in how I was feeling. And so I started to make dietary improvements. I started being careful about what I was eating rather than just eating what I felt like eating, like most people do. I started looking at the nutritional angle, and I started eating more whole, organic and natural foods. And I also noticed that how I was feeling also had an impact on my symptoms. So that's to say, on a given day, if my symptoms were normal, my symptoms of electrical sensitivity were normal, and I would maybe get some bad news or have an argument and I would start feeling irritable and upset, then my symptoms of electrical sensitivity would deteriorate. And this made me realise that there was more to toxins than what went past my lips. And the idea that my emotional and mental state had some sort of influence over my condition, over my electrical sensitivity, began bit by bit to gain credence. So I started to research this concept, and I came across some work by a Nobel Prize winning psychiatrist called Dr. David Hawkins, who developed a means of calibrating emotions and processes. And he calibrated peace and love. He found that it was calibrated in the 500 to 600 range, while other feelings like apathy and despair were calibrated in around the 50 mark. That's to say 10 times less. So reading this, I realised that lower calibrated feelings combined with an existing tolerable level of electrical sensitivity could develop into full-blown unbearable electrical sensitivity. And so it became clear that the causes of my electrical sensitivity was toxins, but toxins in the broadest sense. And it also became clear by the same note that electromagnetic fields were not the sole and unique cause of my electrical sensitivity, but were rather a trigger mechanism. That's to say, a bit like a loaded gun, where you have the cartridge in the chamber and the trigger detonates the cartridge, which fires the gun. And here we can equate the cartridge with toxins and the EMFs with the trigger. So it's only when you put the EMFs with the toxins that you get the electrical sensitivity. And this explains why beating electrical sensitivity is so difficult, because unless you embrace this idea that its electrical sensitivity is caused by all these toxins, then any attempt at treating your condition is doomed for failure. And this is the paradigm shift that I was talking about in my previous video, because beating electrical sensitivity is not just about dealing with your environmental toxins, or about dealing with your nutritional toxins or your emotional and mental toxins. It's about dealing with all these things, and it's about a bigger idea. And this bigger idea is what I would like to share with you, what I would like to talk to you about in my next video. My name is Lloyd from electricsense.com. Thank you.